Hi everyone, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I am coming to you today for day 9 of the 10 Days of Self-Love Challenge. And for those of you who've been keeping up with me over the weekend, you know that the past few days I've talked a lot about perfectionism and letting things go. And yesterday I wrote about how it's better to do something than to do nothing. And it's been really interesting because when I set out to do this challenge this time, and when I did the 100 Days of Self-Love Challenge before, I remember thinking, you know, I'm going to be focusing on self-love and self-care and really taking care of myself this next X period of time, and how amazing are all these days going to be. And I really feel like I expected like sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and it to just be bliss, right? Because you're loving yourself and you're doing things that makes you feel good, and how could that not feel great all the time? And what I've learned, and what you may be experiencing or one day will experience, is that a lot of times when you turn inward and focus on yourself and focus on meeting your needs and loving yourself more, a lot of negative feelings and resistance can come up because you're making a big shift. You may have gone a long time without really acknowledging or purposely meeting your needs, and now all of a sudden you're giving a lot of attention to yourself and how you think about things and how you take care of yourself. And because I'm definitely a recovering perfectionist, I feel like I get caught up a lot of times in doing self-care right and doing self-love perfectly, and you know, expecting it to really just be this wonderland. And I think what has been really important for me and hard for me, and this is what I was thinking about today, is to go on a journey like that and to share about it with other people puts you in a very vulnerable position. And sometimes even just the act of self-love itself, because you have to draw boundaries and maybe say no to things that you would normally say yes to, or not put in, you know, overtime at work because you're trying to put yourself first, or just make these shifts that are new for you, that puts you in a vulnerable position too. So self-love has a lot of vulnerability associated with it, and especially if you have perfectionist leanings, it's scary to be vulnerable. And it's scary, for me at least, I can speak from my personal experience, to put yourself out there in a way that's not, you know, perfectly constructed, and to show your flaws and your struggles. And I feel like, you know, these past 9+ days have been, you know, wonderful and really eye-opening to me, because I feel like despite all the internal work I've done, I still felt this struggle to have like a really perfect 10 days of self-love, and to feel so happy all the time, and to always be really upbeat and have all these great things to share. And I mean, I feel like that a lot of times, but definitely not all the time. And I think that's important. I feel like that's something that's important to share with people. And I would love to encourage you all to challenge yourself to be more vulnerable and share more about your journey and, you know, your successes, but also your struggles. And I think, to me, it's terrifying to think about being vulnerable, and being vulnerable and doing these videos and sharing more about my personal reflection and practices is scary. It's hugely rewarding. And to me, at least, at the end of the day, if even one person feels like they can share something about their life now, or something resonated with them and it made a difference, to me, that's worth it. And I think that the more people are honest about what they're going through, I feel like we will become more connected and be happier. And I don't know, I wanted to share that today. So in thinking about a self-love tip, I feel like it would be get comfortable with being vulnerable, because it's scary, and you by no means have to be public about what you do for self-love or self-care. I think kudos to all of you who are, because I feel like the more you put it out there that you are working on yourself and that you struggle and that you're, learning these great practices and sharing things you do, I think that you are making an impact on the world, and that's really important work. And also giving other people the courage to assert their needs and take care of themselves in a society that does tend to value perfectionism and things being hard and struggling and having to, work your fingers to the bones to succeed and be worthy. So I feel like the more you can speak up and speak out about those things and share your experiences, I feel like it's a really positive, wonderful thing to do. And I'd love to hear from people about their experiences with self-love and self-care. And yeah,